Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, Bootlicker, Shields, Dutchley, Sirs, Peasants, Vassals, Minions, Meat Sacks. I'm usually welcome. And we have things moving really fast on the whole idea of sanctuary cities. And I guess we shouldn't be surprised because Trump is working at breakneck pace to instigate a wide range of policies. He's only been there for 2 weeks, and this stuff is all happening so fast, it's hard to keep track of. But the latest development, of course, is the new Attorney General of the United States, who was confirmed. First day in office, Pam Bondi announced that she would be restricting funds to so-called sanctuary cities. And now today, it's a day later, and the new Attorney General Pam Bondi is responsible for launching lawsuits against the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois for not cooperating with federal officials in their migrant sweeps. And with big promises of more to come, other large American cities that will also be targeted with lawsuits in order to get compliance with the new policies regarding migrants. And I have a lot of interesting thoughts on this. Of course, the main one, which per the title of this video, is it seems like sanctuary cities are going to be a thing of the past. And a lot of people are not aware that they've been around since the 1980s. And it was an easy thing to be a sanctuary city for migrants then, because the amount of migrants, particularly moving into northern cities, was a small matter. But now it's become a huge matter, and certainly a much, much larger matter after the open border policy of the Biden administration. And the thing that perplexes me, of course, is that cities like Chicago and New York, who will be targets of these lawsuits, have some of the biggest problems with migrants. And not only is there an increased crime wave in these cities, a lot of it has to do with migrants, but also just the huge added expenses for catering to these migrant communities that are popping up in all our major U.S. cities. And so you'd think they would be on board with getting with this new Trump program and deporting these migrants, because these migrants are hurting their cities and hurting their finances, which is something they can really understand. They all understand finances. And also the catering to these migrant communities in cities like Chicago and New York has the local population vastly for these deportation programs. And there's been a huge backlash by the population in both New York and Chicago about all these handouts, these very generous handouts, and particularly in a city like New York, where a lot of migrants have been put up in something like 165 fairly expensive motels across the city. And so you would think they would be on board with these programs, but they have to feign some kind of nobility by fighting back against these new migrant laws. And it just seems illogical in a lot of ways for me. But I understand the sentiment behind it. But once again, these cities have been overwhelmed. You know, once the migrants started moving in these last 4 years in large quantities, a lot of them with criminal records, and these budgets of these cities just skyrocketing, trying to pay for it all. Just seems like a no-brainer that they would be on board with it. So the new Attorney General Pam Bondi is moving very fast, as per the Trump administration. And as I mentioned in a video, a couple videos ago, this whole idea of sanctuary cities seems like it's going to be arriving in the dustbin of history soon. And the Trump administration has made it clear that they are going on the attack against the so-called sanctuary cities. So big deal, and once again, a huge amount of energy and effort and money being put into this migration program. And the Trump administration is moving very fast on their promises and their new vision of what America should look like. And I have to restate, I understand the nobility and intent of sanctuary cities, and I think a lot of it was geared towards old school migrants, and that makes a lot of sense. But this new onslaught over the last 4 years, and once again, these criminal elements, and then the immense cost involved in catering to these migrant communities means that it has to stop, and it looks like it is going to stop. So there you have it. Needless to say, watch the headlines moving forward. We're going to see more cities and states sued, and it'll be interesting to see what these cities' reactions are when the funds coming from the federal government are either restricted or cut off, as long as they support these old policies. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too?